beset, beset. Betrayal, betrayal. Bias, bias. Bidding, bidding. Birdie, birdie. Bitterly, bitterly. Blackout, blackout. Blank, blank. Chip, chip. Chorus, chorus. Cigar, cigar. Circuit, circuit. Circumstances, circumstances. Circumstantial, circumstantial. Citation, citation. Cite, cite. Citizenship, citizenship. Civic, civic. Classic, classic. Classify, classify. Classroom, classroom. Clerical, clerical. Client, client. Clinical, clinical. Cloister, cloister. Closing, closing. Closure, closure. Clutch, clutch. Deputation, deputation. Derive, derive. Deserve, deserve. Designate, designate. Designed, designed. Desperate, desperate. Despite, despite. Destiny, destiny. Destroy, destroy. Detailed, detailed. Ferocious, ferocious. Ferry, ferry. Festival, festival. Feud, feud. Fierce, fierce. Fighting, fighting. Finalize, finalize. Finance, finance. Finding, finding. Finishing, finishing. Gesture, gesture. Giant, giant. Giving, giving. Glamour, glamour. Glare, glare. Hawker, hawker. Hazard, hazard. Haze, haze. Headline, headline. Heel, heel. Increase, increase. Increase, increase. Increasing, increasing. Increasingly, increasingly. Incur, incur. Independently, independently. Index, index. Indication, indication. Indifferent, indifferent. Indigenous, indigenous. Landscape, landscape. Landslide, landslide. Lane, lane. Lap, lap. Lapse, lapse. large scale, large scale. Largely, largely. Launch, launch. Launching, launching. Leading, leading. Margin, margin. Marginal, marginal. Marine, marine. Marital, marital. Massive, massive. Materialize, materialize. Maritime, maritime. Marshal, marshal. Maternity, maternity. Mathematical, mathematical. Occasional, occasional. Occasionally, occasionally. Occupancy, occupancy. Occur, occur. Offender, offender. Peculiar, peculiar. Peddler, peddler. Penalty, penalty. Pending, pending. Percentage, percentage. Peril, peril. Period, period. Periodic, periodic. Permanently, permanently. Permissible, permissible. Raised, raised. Rally, rally. Ranch, ranch. Ranger, ranger. Rank, rank. Rapid, rapid. Rarely, rarely. Rational, rational. React, react. Reader, reader. Secure, secure. Security, security. Sedate, sedate. Seek, seek. Seize, seize. Selection, selection. Selective, selective. Seller, seller. Selling, selling. Senior, senior. Ailing, ailing. Airborne, airborne. Aircraft, aircraft. Airline, airline. Airliner, airliner. Airplane, airplane. Allegation, allegation. Allege, allege. Allegedly, allegedly. Alleviate, alleviate. Blast, blast. Blatant, blatant. Bleak, bleak. Blind, blind. Blockade, blockade. Coexistence, coexistence. Coincide, coincide. Collaborate, collaborate. Collaboration, collaboration. Collapse, collapse. Colleague, colleague. Collective, collective. collide, collide, collision, collision, kernel, kernel, colorful, colorful, combat, combat, combination, combination, comedian, comedian, comment, comment, detain, detain, detect, detect, detection, detection, detente, detente, detention, detention, determination, determination, determine, determine, determined, determined, deterrent, deterrent, detrimental, detrimental, empire, empire, employer, employer, empower, empower, enable, enable, enact, enact, enclose, enclose, encounter, encounter, encourage, encourage, encouragement, encouragement, endanger, endanger, firmly, firmly, firmness, firmness, fitness, fitness, fixture, fixture, flagrant, flagrant, gloomy, gloomy, glow, glow, goodbye, goodbye, governmental, governmental, grab, grab, hearing, hearing, heavily, heavily, hedge, hedge, hence, hence, herself, herself, indirect, indirect, individual, individual, induce, induce, ineffective, ineffective, inefficient, inefficient, inevitable, inevitable, inevitably, inevitably, inexcusable, inexcusable, inexperienced, inexperienced, inference, inference, leak, leak, learning, learning, lease, lease, lever, lever, legal, legal, mature, mature, maturity, maturity, meaningless, meaningless, meantime, meantime, mechanism, mechanism, mechanization, mechanization, mediator, mediator, medieval, medieval, melodic, melodic, melody, melody, offensive, offensive, offering, offering, officially, officially, offset, offset, ominous, ominous, persecution, persecution, persist, persist, persistent, persistent, persistently, persistently, personally, personally, personal, personal, perspective, perspective, persuade, persuade, petroleum, petroleum, readily, readily, readiness, readiness, reaffirm, reaffirm, realization, realization, reasonable, reasonable, reasonably, reasonably, reassure, reassure, rebate, rebate, recent, recent, recession, recession, sensation, sensation, sensible, sensible, sensitive, sensitive, sentiment, sentiment, separate, 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 sequence, sequence, series, series, seriously, seriously, serving, serving, setting, setting, severely, severely, so, so, sexual, sexual, sharply, sharply, underline, underline, undermine, undermine, undertaking, undertaking, undesirable, undesirable, undoubtedly, undoubtedly, allocate, allocate, alter, alter, amalgamated, amalgamated, ambitious, ambitious, amend, amend, amendment, amendment, amenity, amenity,
AM, AM,
analyst, analyst, analyze, analyze, blonde, blonde, bloody, bloody, blunt, blunt, boast, boast, bodyguard, bodyguard, commentator, commentator, commerce, commerce, commissioner, commissioner, commitment, commitment, commodity, commodity, commonly, commonly, communicate, communicate, communication, communication, communique, communique, commuter, commuter, company, company, comparable, comparable, comparative, comparative, compel, compel, compensate, compensate, devastate, devastate. Device, device. Devise, devise. Devolution, devolution. Diamond, diamond. Differential, differential. Dignity, dignity. Dimension, dimension. Diminish, diminish. Diminutive, diminutive. Endeavor, endeavor. Ending, ending. Endlessly, endlessly. Endorse, endorse. Endorsement, endorsement. Enforce, enforce. Enforcement, enforcement. Engagement, engagement. Engineering, engineering. Enlarge, enlarge. Hesitate, hesitate. Hijack, hijack. Historic, historic. Hitherto, hitherto. Hoax, hoax. Holidaymaker, holidaymaker. Honest, honest. Horizon, horizon. Horrific, horrific. Horror, horror. Infiltration, infiltration. Infinitely, infinitely. Influential, influential. Inform, inform. Informal, informal. Informed, informed. Infringe, infringe. Inherent, inherent. Inhuman, inhuman. Initially, initially. Memorial, memorial. Menace, menace. Mental, mental. Mentally, mentally. Mercenary, mercenary. Merchandise, merchandise. Merely, merely. Merger, merger. Merit, merit. Method, method. Phase, phase. Philosophical, philosophical. Philosophy, philosophy. Photograph, photograph. Photographer, photographer. Photographic, photographic. Phrase, phrase. Physically, physically. Physician, physician. Pitch, pitch. Recipe, recipe. Recipient, recipient. Reckon, reckon. Recognition, recognition. Reconciliation, reconciliation. Reconsider, reconsider. Reconstruction, reconstruction. Recording, recording. Recruit, recruit. Redouble, redouble. Shatter, shatter. Shear, shear, shield, shield, shift, shift, shipbuilding, shipbuilding, shipyard, shipyard, shocking, shocking, shortage, shortage, shorten, shorten, shortly, shortly, shrine, shrine, sicken, sicken, sidewalk, sidewalk, signatory, signatory, significance, significance, significant, significant, significantly, significantly, similar, similar, similarly, similarly, simplification, simplification, unexpected, unexpected, unfair, unfair, unfairly, unfairly, unfavorable, unfavorable, unify, unify, unilateral, unilateral, universal, universal, university, university, unlike, unlike, unlimited, unlimited, unnecessary, unnecessary, weaken, weaken, wedge, wedge, weekly, weekly, west, west, whatsoever, whatsoever, whereby, whereby, bolt, bolt, bombing, bombing, bond, bond, bone, bone, bookshop, bookshop, ancillary, ancillary, angel, angel, announcement, announcement, annually, annually, anomaly, anomaly, anonymous, anonymous, antagonism, antagonism, anticipate, anticipate, antique, antique, anxious, anxious, compensation, compensation, compete, compete, competitive, competitive, complacency, complacency, complain, complain, complementary, complementary, completion, completion, complex, complex, complicate, complicate, complication, complication, complicity, complicity, complementary, complementary, comply, comply, component, component, compose, compose, diplomat, diplomat, disable, disable, disagree, disagree, disarmament, disarmament, disaster, disaster, disastrous, disastrous, discard, discard, discharge, discharge, disciplinary, disciplinary, discipline, discipline, enormous, enormous, enormously, enormously, enrich, enrich, ensure, ensure, entering, entering, enterprise, enterprise, entirely, entirely, entitle, entitle, equally, equally, equity, equity, flee, flee, flowing, flowing, flurry, flurry, focus, focus, folly, folly, forced, forced, for, forecasting, forecasting, foremost, foremost, foresee, foresee, grace, grace, grade, grade, gradual, gradual, grand, grand, grave, grave, initiate, initiate, inject, inject, injunction, injunction, injure, injure, injured, injured, injury, injury, injustice, injustice, inland, inland, inner, inner, innumerable, innumerable, legalistic, legalistic, legality, legality, legally, legally, legend, legend, legislation, legislation, metropolitan, metropolitan, mid, mid, midday, midday, midst, midst, militant, militant, onto, onto, openly, openly, operate, operate, operatic, operatic, operating, operating, pitcher, pitcher, placard, placard, plaint, plaint, planned, planned, planning, planning, plastic, plastic, plateau, plateau, platitude, platitude, pleased, pleased, pledge, pledge, redress, redress, reduction, reduction, redundancy, redundancy, refer, refer, refine, refine, reflecting, reflecting, refuge, refuge, refusal, refusal, regardless, regardless, regime, regime, tourney, tourney, toward, toward, township, township,